crazy monsters, angry gods, and Kaka.
Giant hawk! So serious.
Moana 2. Keeping up with the theatrical releases, we have this Disney sequel to a 2016 hit that is somehow supposed to compete with Wicked? Okay, yeah, right, like that's even a contest. I mean, come on. Wait, what? What was that? You're telling me it's beaten Wicked at the box office? Broke records? Even Gladiator 2? Moana 2 is doing that. Moana 2. Okay then. Never mind. I guess Disney knew what they were doing, at least from a money perspective. If we're being honest, Disney desperately needed a late-in-the-year win. Last year was Wish that nobody saw and flopped, and this year was going to be nothing in theaters, at least until the Disney execs looked at their mostly finished Moana Disney Plus TV show and decided instead to chop that up into a movie. You heard me right! This film was originally supposed to be a streaming show and ended up getting turned into a movie near the finalization process, and pissing off a majority of the people who acted in it, including the lead, auli'i Carvalho. Even Moana herself didn't like that direction. That's funny. And it's very odd to see Disney stepping back into the so familiar trope of putting out a sequel that is quite literally just a chopped up version of several episodes of an unreleased TV show. So, oh boy. Here we go. So what is Moana 2 even about this time? I'm kind of surprised it doesn't have a subtitle here. Moana 2, The Way of the Ancestors. I don't know. Something about that. Ancestry is a very weird plot through here, but I guess it's very big in Polynesian culture, so that's interesting. Anyway, this movie follows Moana, of course, now an explorer for her tribe called a Tautai, discovering that in order to find and connect her tribe with other tribes and people in the region, she has to find a hidden island and break an old curse from an angry god that dislikes people for some reason. It's not very well explained. I mean, I guess this is a decent setup, but the reasoning this god has for cursing everyone is just very meh. The god himself is never seen in the film unless you count a mid-credit scene, and his reasoning for the curse seems to be non-existent. If it is explained in the film somewhere, I immediately forgot it, so that's not great. The story is kind of meandering in that way. The characters need to find this island, and that's supposed to be days away from their own, but they find a shortcut and all in all get the journey completed in essentially just 2 days. It's very, very weird, and you can start to see the holes for where the show would have been. There are a ton of side characters, for example, that are interesting and funny in their own right, but they never get expanded on or have a significant time to shine. At one point, one of them gets traumatized and then is immediately fine 5 minutes later. It's very, very odd, and you can tell that there are whole character arcs that were completely missing because this movie is not a TV show, and it has to get going and finish before hitting the 2-hour mark. There's even this semi-villain character that is just so damn cool, and she has a fun villain song too. I really like her, but then she's immediately out of the movie after her introduction. So it's very, very strange. You have all these characters that clearly are set up to do something important or impact the story in a significant way and appease to people wanting to like them and probably sell merch. I really like some of their designs. I like how some of them look. And then we get nothing. They never get their chance to shine because the story needs to steamroll over them in order to finish on time. This is one of the issues with it being a movie and not a show. If it were a show, these characters would have had time to expand on themselves, to let the audience grow with them and see them as full-fledged characters and cling to them and enjoy them and provide deeper meaning and stakes to the overall plot. But because the film got chopped up, all that character development is lost, and these characters are relegated to tropes, or just background material, or just jokes. For example, one character learns a new language off screen, and it's just played off as a joke instead of what very clearly showing what could have been a very meaningful, heartwarming episode about getting rid of prejudice or accepting other cultures. So it's just you have all these very, very obvious ways the plot could have gone that's just cut. I hate it. And that's not the only fault here, though, either. A big point a lot of other reviewers I've seen mention is the music. Everyone wants Lin-Manuel Miranda back because these songs are just okay. They're fine, but the one thing they aren't is memorable. I can really only think of one and only 2 lines from it. Get lost. Dun, 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 dun. That's not how it goes because I don't remember, but that's it. The songs are still enjoyable numbers, but none of them are earworms that Miranda is so good at producing. Sorry to the music writers Barlow and Bear, it just wasn't a hit here. Keep trying though, make your own beats, don't try to copy Miranda, and I'm sure you'll find some success. There's nuggets of good stuff here. It's just not working for this particular film. And after all of that, there's not too much to complain about, so that's really all I can say that's bad. The animation is gorgeous as ever, especially the water physics, but that's Moana for you. Every single new Disney and Pixar movie looks amazing. It's all animated spectacularly, so I can't complain about it. I also love how the Polynesian culture is being brought to the forefront, not just with how the island life and the seafaring ways go, but now expanded with more gods and mythos while still being grounded in the true culture, such as the hula dances done and ceremonies portrayed by the people of the admittedly fictional island of Montanui. I really like that it dives into this historical culture, and that it does seem that the mythos and exploration of that will continue in Moana 3, that hopefully will be a streaming show. I don't know. There's just so much missed because it's not a show. Otherwise, the voice acting here is also fantastic as always. Auli'i Cravalho is amazing as Moana. Just the perfect voice for her, especially when she's singing, and she just fits Moana's facial expressions to a T. She's so good. Dwayne Johnson is Maui, again, being Maui. He's fine. There's nothing really crazy to report here. He does get another one song, but it's okay. It's not You're Welcome. Honestly, it kind of feels like they're trying to be the Under Pressure song from Encanto. Very strange, but it's fine. I do also want to point out Rose Matafeo as the newcomer Loto, who is just a ton of fun, probably the most memorable side character on the voyage, even if she only does one thing. She's got great energy and just a fun rap bit during one song that's trying way too hard to be You're Welcome. So I like her. I want to see more of her. Hopefully she sticks around. And I also want to shout out, and I apologize if I mispronounce this, Awimai Fraser as the semi-villainous Matangi. That character and the way Fraser portrays her is just so much fun. I want to see so much more from this character, and it's a crime she only has one song and one scene. Although it is very weird that the movie does focus on her feet for one instance. For all you foot lovers out there, that's a little weird. I don't know why that was in there, but this movie also does have a weird fetish for slime at one point, so Ryder's barely disguised fetish there. I don't get that, but okay. Anyway, that's really all the nice things I can say about this film. On the surface, it's just fine. It's okay. It's serviceable. It looks and sounds nice, and while most of the film outside the climax is forgettable or includes dated references like the goat scream, it's still just decent. It's safe, played out, a bit dull. Even the ending plays it too safe, and instead of having proper consequences for some characters, it just throws a certain character a bone and erases all consequence. I hate when a movie does that. So, do I recommend this movie? Not really. you're gonna have to see it because it sets up everything for Moana 3, which does look like it could be very exciting and explore much more of Polynesian mythology. So I kinda hope it's much better, but otherwise, wait until this one is on streaming. I really wish this had stayed a TV show and the plot and characters could have had a proper exploration. I think it would have been a really good show. I truly do. It would have set up season 2 perfectly with that mid-credit scene too, and a lot of the characters not appearing in some episodes could have been fine. So, it's just not cool to scrap all that hard work that the cast put in already with the show just to condense it all into a very fast-paced film. Maybe we'll get an extended cut, because from my understanding, a lot of the animation had already been done and finalized. Cravalho was called back in to do additional dialogue when they were editing it into a movie, so there's a possibility. I know work on the live-action Moana is still going on too, but I'm probably not going to see it. I'm not going to see Mufasa either, probably, even though that one does have Lin-Manuel Miranda doing the songs. Just no. I don't like these weird live action remakes, and Moana and Lilo and Stitch make no sense outside of Polynesian representation, which, okay, sure, we have Moana with historical and Lilo and Stitch with more current modern. That's neat, I guess, but just give us more stories. They don't have to be remakes. Either way, this film is harmless enough. It sets up an interesting plot for Moana 3 at least, so I say definitely wait until it's on streaming, but otherwise this is just an average, okay film that will at least keep kids' attention. You could do a lot worse, especially with Disney. So ultimately, Moana 2 gets a 6 out of 10 from me. Hey guys, thanks for sticking around for another one. I honestly don't know what to see this weekend. I know Werewolves is out, but I saw that director's previous film Margot on a plane and it was terrible, so I'm probably not seeing that. I might just see whatever's on Shudder. Shudder's always got something interesting. I did see they had this interesting film called Primevals, which was actually supposed to be made back in the 60s, but the creator of it kept losing funding and couldn't shoot it, so every decade he tried to get it done and it just kept getting pushed back until eventually he died. And then I think his estate and some students of his took the concept, the stop motion puppets, and they went and shot it in the 90s, I believe, but then it jumped around in production hell until finally coming out last year and is now on Shudder, which is very interesting. And it's just, okay, it's fun. It's very cool to see something from back then be done in a more somewhat modern take. The stop motion looks really good. The puppets are really cool, but the story feels very much from the 60s. So I think that's interesting. I think you guys should check that out. Otherwise, what did you think of Moana 2? I know, I just took a very weird tangent here. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, ring that bell. Really helps me grow. Follow my socials if you want. And yeah, that's it. Have a great day, and if you're not, have a better one. See ya.
I'm just a ghost in your stereo, the fading memory of a shipwreck in the undertow. You're just